Summer. Welcome to the Plant-Based Morning Show. I'm Matt Frazier, joined by Doug Hay. We don't do the old, the formal introductions like that every time, but we probably should for people who are new to the show. There are those people sometimes.
Matt Frazier, New York Times bestselling author.
You're right.
Co-founder of Compliment, founder of No Mean Athlete. Doug Hay
needs no introduction.
Acclaimed ultra runner, town council member,
marathon under 24-hour timed race champion.
24-hour timed race champion. What else?
Only man ever to complete 100 miles in 24 hours of that race.
The first person ever, maybe.
Oh, were you the first? I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
Well, we gotta add that. That's even better than only.
But now the race has grown so much that there's people who do it every year. There were like 3 maybe that did it this year.
But you were the first. That's your thing. The other people have their baby stroller pushing bad water back, self-supported.
That's true.
You were the first person ever to do that thing.
Yep, that's right. Mm-hmm.
That's good. Every ultra runner needs a first. I mean, that's what an ultra runner craves. Is that first one thing that they did first.
There you go. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Candidate for the 2024 elections, Jessica adds.
Not yet.
In your bio. Oh, not yet. What's holding you back?
Well, it's the filing. It doesn't start till the first week of July, so I can't be a candidate yet. But I'm also still undecided. So, so there's that.
Okay.
Professional burrito eater. Second place at the Maryland crab cake eating competition. Pre-vegan days. Got to always clarify that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Father of 2, aren't you supposed to always talk about your kids in bios?
I don't know. Maybe you're
loving husband.
Oops. Yeah, I mean, I feel like those are pretty easy to get, right? They're not. I mean, for real, like the kids are important to me. It doesn't need to be in my bio. It's like anyone can have kids. Just go have them.
Yeah, I think it adds some context, right, to who you are, maybe.
Right. It does do that. Anyway, all right. Today's summer solstice has happened. We always do a bit where I ask you if you're going to a solstice party and you talk about your ironic friends and all that. I'm not going to do that this time. People have heard that enough, I think.
Well, there is a party that's happening tonight, but I have a swim meet to go to instead. So swim meet has ruined my summer solstice party.
It's amazing to me, really. I mean, as much as I joke about it, that there always is actually a party. Every one of these solstices or equinoxes, there always is one.
Yeah.
It's funny. Rich social life. Right?
I guess so. Yeah.
Based on nature. All right. We have fun things today. We have one really important thing, and that's this big study you sent me from I think it was the nurses study, big data set that happened in the early 80s, mid 80s.
Yep.
Where's the name? Nurses Health Study.
Almost 40,000 female nurses. There
you go. The Nurses Health Study. So lots of things come out of this study. We've talked about some of them before, but this one is about protein specifically. They compared plant protein and animal protein and just lower protein in general to talk about healthy aging. So we will get into that in just a bit. In the meantime, let's see. We got people here back to normal attendance, which is good after the late start or the early start on Tuesday and then the no-show yesterday for Juneteenth. People are coming, filtering it. Britters, Jessica, who we already talked about. Britters mentions your flannel. That could be a bio item.
Yeah, there you go.
Kate, Garuda Legends, Matt O'Connor, Brandon Turner. They're here. They're checked in. Matt O'Connor wants a Doug for president 2024. Right? Did you have signs last time?
Oh yeah. You didn't see him? You lived here back then, right?
Well, I lived in like closer to Swannanoa. No, I never saw a Hay sign.
That's crazy. There were like 300 of them around town.
Right?
Yeah. They were everywhere.
Maybe the competition scooped them all up. Just followed your little van and took them in. Anyway, Lady Draws a Lot also has said hello. So hello, good morning, everybody. Good to see y'all. We're sponsored by Compliment. That's lovecompliment.com. No crazy promotions going on right now. I don't think you're not going to get those prices that you had a couple weeks ago until at least Black Friday. So
hey, but I do have a little hot tip for anyone looking for creatine. We are out of creatine on our website, or there's a delay. It'll be shipping in a couple weeks. But if you're in need of some creatine, head over to Amazon. We still have a little bit of stock over there.
Okay. There you go. Amazon.com. Good. That's a good tip. All right. So I have before we get into the weather report. Interesting thing. I mentioned a couple days ago that Aaron had got me some Father's Day things,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to talk about them later because some of them did relate to the show. One of them is a miracle cure for me for my
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
no,
All right.
yeah. Acupressure mat. Have you seen these things?
Are they like little spiky things that
They're
you lay
really
down?
sharp. They look like golf spikes, but they're
Uh-huh.
way sharper.
Yep.
And there are those all over the mat. These little circles
Mm-hmm.
that each is full of probably 20 spike.
Yep. Total nonsense. Go ahead.
It's right. Seems like it. I thought. I mean, I've long been kind of not opposed to. I don't know where I stand, but like acupuncture, I think is known. Whatever effect acupuncture has is known to be a placebo effect. Um, but as we sometimes talk about, placebo effect still is in effect. So if you believe in it and you are subject to that placebo effect, then you can still experience the actual benefit, even though there's no reason other than your mind, which is kind of weird. It seems weird to willingly do something like that and say, "Well, I'm just going to believe it because I
Is
know it'll
that
work."
true? It's known to be 100% placebo? Like, is that what
I mean,
studies?
I don't know about it known to be 100%, but at some point I read a study that showed that it was, or
Hmm.
someone referenced the study. This was a long time ago, and I just sort of wrote it off at that point.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting.
Yeah, but so is like homeopathic medicine type stuff, right? Like that is whatever effect that has is placebo effect. That is I can more confidently say, because there's a lot of research that shows that. But a lot of people believe in it, and it works for those people who do believe in it because that's how placebos are. Anyway, that's acupuncture I was talking about. I don't know about acupressure. I haven't actually seen that one. I think acupuncture you actually go and get the needling done, and there's acupressure. I don't know if it's like a whole different thing or if it's just like this kind of at-home version of it is called acupressure. I don't really know. All I know is I sit on this mat for like 20, 30 minutes in the evening, kind of near bedtime. This wasn't any prescription that said to do this. I just like got the mat and said, well, I'm just going to try it right before bed. And I did. And like 3 nights in a row now, I have no piriformis tightening overnight, that's my problem. Like that's a huge sleep issue. And it's not my only sleep issue,
Hmm.
but like has made my sleep really bad recently. Is that
Hmm.
it just gradually tightens up when I lay in one place for a long time. And by halfway through the night, it's just like a lot of pain anytime I move or anything. It wakes me up. But now 3 nights in a row, nothing. And even in the morning, I feel like good. I don't need to like stretch it out or anything.
Wow.
So I'm just amazed. I just hope it keeps working. I hope it really is due to this and not some other random factor that I'm ignoring. But
What do you
it's
mean you
great.
sit on it? I thought you're supposed to like lay your back on it.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can do a bunch of things, and it came with a little pillow shaped thing too that also has it that you can do for neck and back. It's kind of like a foam roller where comes a little booklet that shows you like the
Mm-hmm.
5 to 10 different ways to use it. So I'm just doing it to get my hamstrings, lower back, glute, and like that area, and that works. Problem is you're supposed to sit on it with no cloth in between you and the thing. So that means I have to be like naked on the couch.
Oh, your kids come down. Oh, there goes dad again, getting some acupressure, naked on the couch.
But yesterday was birthday. I used any direct on skin. The previous 2 days I had boxer shorts on. Like as you warm up to it, apparently you're supposed to advance.
So does it hurt?
Yeah, it does kind of hurt. It's not pleasant, but after like 2 or 3 minutes, you just get used to it, and it's okay. But like if you accidentally like lean your hand onto it or something while you're doing it, or if my dog walks over and he steps on it, it's like really sharp. It hurts you.
Do you move around on it? Like, do you like adjust, or do you
I
try
mean,
to sit?
yes, I do try to adjust over time. Not try. It's more like I kind of get sick of that position and all those spikes, and I move, and I just try to move strategically so that it hits another area where, my tightness happens.
Huh. Very interesting. I mean, I've seen like ads for it, and I've just kind of written it off as
Yeah,
just
all
another
right.
thing. But
As well, you should have. I mean, I would have done the same thing.
mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of amazed. And yeah, there's lots of like it says like if you lay down on your back and use the pillow thing, it says that one somehow promotes sleep or something. And so I don't know, there could be other things that are good for it.
Yeah.
But as far as just like this injury thing,
How long does it leave marks on your body?
I didn't really look closely, but like because it's mostly behind me, so I didn't look in a mirror. But I
You're
no
just not
obvious.
checking out your bum for the
No,
next day.
yeah. I mean, I didn't notice any obvious marks like when I glanced down at my hip. So
Okay.
I'm kind of surprised by that. I just have no idea how it can work. I haven't researched it, but like it's not reaching your muscle by any means. These are sharp surface level spikes, just like acupuncture would be. And none of it's going to your muscle or
Right.
to your, is the piriformis a muscle? I guess it is. Yeah, it's a muscle. But like, I think it increases endorphins and stuff around there as in response to the little pricks. I don't know.
It's blood flow, I'm sure.
Yeah, right. It's that stuff.
Huh.
So yeah, blood flow. I mean, that's a pretty simple explanation. Easier to buy than endorphins to me. But yeah, I mean, if something's hurting, your body would tend to respond in that way. So anyway, yeah, I'm a believer for now. It's really good. So highly recommended. I don't know if I have a brand, but I mean, I do have a brand. I don't have the name of it here, but I will. Let me see if I can find one. Let me see if they're all the same. Yeah, you Google Acupressure mat, and they all look the same.
Very cool. Very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
We're headed out of town tomorrow afternoon, leaving midday to go to a camp out at a music festival as a family for a couple nights.
That's Leaf?
No, not Leaf. New one, different one.
Okay.
That's billed by everyone who's been there as a mini Leaf.
Okay, where is it?
It's down in Burnsville.
Okay.
We're outside Burnsville, so about an hour from here. But yeah, so that'll be fun. Do a little festival camping, which is very different than regular camping.
Right.
And yeah, should be a good time.
Any good headliners I should know about, or I would know about?
No, I literally know 0 of the bands.
You know, okay.
0 of them.
And I would definitely not know them. Okay. What genre of music? Jam band kind of?
Yeah, I think jam band, some folk stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. The stuff you'd find at an outdoor camping music festival in Western North Carolina. You know.
Right.
But you know, it's right on the Toad River, and it's supposed to be warm and beautiful, and a bunch of friends are going, so it should be fun.
Good. BYOB or you purchase there?
BYOB, BYO, everything. They have some food trucks, I guess, but no, bring your own beer.
You already got your beers picked out, purchased, ready to go?
Picked out, purchased, ready to go.
All right. Good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Good. All right. Glad to hear that. Couple, one housekeeping announcement. Well, actually, 2. Next week, I'm traveling Tuesday during the show time. So we're instead going to do the show on Monday. This is what you get in summertime. If you're a fan of the show, there's a little more things that happen. So Monday will be the show, normal time, 11 a.m. And then when we pick it up on Wednesday at 11 a.m., Robert Cheek is going to be with us. He's going to be promoting his book, which I think I have in front of me. Yeah, I do. I showed it last time, but Impactful Vegan, Robert's book. He's super proud of it. He's very, very excited about it, and he should be. So he'll be on Wednesday. That book releases on Tuesday, so we'll have him the day after it has come out.
Sweet.
So that should be fun. And then Thursday, normal. And then the next week, we're off. We haven't, I mentioned this a while to you, Doug, but the next week, I'm entirely off. I think we'll just have no show that week. I mean, unless we want to try to get fill-ins and stuff, but it's over the 4th of July holiday anyway. So
yeah,
I think we'll
Are you going to Spain? Going to
going to Delaware? Yep, Bethany Beach, Delaware. Who's our Bethany Beach guy? There is someone here who wanted to get a workout or a drink last time, and I couldn't do it. Yeah, I don't think that was one of these guys, but maybe it was. Anyway, if you're listening, let me know. I'll be there for a little bit longer this year. So
nice.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. What, you laughing about this race lever comment?
Yeah.
I think it's a joke. Race lever's got some funny jokes for sure, but also has a little attitude. So I'm always
definitely has got some attitude. Yeah.
I think he's the one who defends the vegan cheeses.
Yeah.
He will die on that hill, it appears. But anyway, so I've got to tread carefully before I display the race lever quotes. What's with our quotes? Why are they displaying with these black now? Is that
I don't know.
Glitch?
Yeah, maybe. I changed up some things when I was working on the outline, so must have messed that up. But Jessica, good enough. Speaking of concerts, I'm going to see your friend Taylor on Sunday. That's exciting. Is she back in the U.S. or are you somewhere else?
She's in UK, Jessica.
She's in UK. Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I think Taylor was in Madrid like a week or 2 ago.
I would give up this weekend concert to or this weekend festival. To
you'd be excited to go see Tay Tay?
Yeah, I'd be into that.
Seems like a boring show. I mean, I don't know why. Maybe I mean, isn't it just like, isn't it going to just sound exactly like the recordings do, and you just get to see dancing with it, or is it not like that?
Uh, you can watch it right now on Netflix, so you should
Maybe.
watch it and see.
Okay.
See
Yeah,
for yourself, Matt.
maybe. All right.
You wanna know a little secret? I'm not really a crier. I'm not a I mean, I cry. I'm not a not crier. I just don't cry very much. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I like to cry. Like, I think it's
Yeah.
good.
No, you're right. I'm the same way. I don't mind it, but don't find occasion to often.
Yeah. So my daughter, who is 7, is into Taylor Swift. Not, like, wildly into her, but, likes her hits.
Hmm.
Um, but she was excited when the Eras tour came on Netflix, and so we sat down and watched it, and she was just totally enthralled by this confident, powerful woman up on the
Hmm.
screen who was having tens of hundreds of thousands of people. I don't know how many people singing along and crying watching her. And she was just like totally struck by it, and it actually made me cry a little bit. I was like watching
Yeah.
her, yeah, like I don't know, it's just it made me quite emotional.
Uh huh. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Definitely. Good for her. Cool. Good. I'm sure. I mean, probably a lot of girls and maybe boys for that matter. I don't know who are very inspired to see somebody like
Yeah.
that. Good. All right. Um, with that, let's get to the weather report. We do have some fun stuff today. One I meant to get to the other day. My mom sent it to me, and I meant to get to it because it backs up my case that cycling should be illegal. Cycling should absolutely be illegal. And this would be a surefire way to get yourself elected, Doug. Outlaw cycling in Black Mountain and surrounding areas. Gordon Ramsay, who we're all fans of now because he's kind of become like a pro-vegan guy. I don't think he's vegan himself, but he definitely does vegan things. Like in
He
his
doesn't hate on it. Yeah.
no, he doesn't hate on it. He seems like the type who would too,
Hmm.
uh, but he doesn't. And I think he features vegan dishes in some of his restaurants. He might even have like a more plant-based one of his restaurants. I don't really remember what it was, or maybe he had a plant-based show that he was involved in or something. But he's definitely like surprisingly pro plant-based stuff. Hell's Kitchen host, of course. Anyway, he revealed on Saturday that he was treated at a hospital after being injured in a quote really bad bicycle accident. He said it really shook me. Honestly, I'm lucky to be here. He put on his Instagram, and he had no broken bones or anything somehow. So it's a little surprising to say that he's lucky to be here. But he did lift up his chef's coat and showed his whole midsection was bruised. Like you couldn't see a non-purple spot on his
Wow.
torso in the picture I saw. So it looked terrible. But anyway, he reminds people about the importance of a helmet. He said if he wouldn't be here now if he didn't have his on. So I guess that's good that he's doing that. I think he should tell people don't ride bikes. Nina Dobrev, he's not the only one crashing on his bike, and we know that, right? We've lots of close personal friends and acquaintances have been hospitalized from bike accidents, which is why I'm so against them. Nina Dobrev from the Vampire Diaries, she last month was injured in a biking accident. And this guy I follow on Twitter, crypto guy, big time crypto guy. You know him. I sent you some of his stuff, Doug. He just broke his arm, bike accident. So they seem to come in threes.
Wow.
I don't know how many chefs, how many crypto influencers, how many Vampire Diaries stars need to have this happen before we say it's too much. But no one.
I was actually I met up with some friends last night and was biking home around like 10, and
After a drink or two.
after a drink or two.
Terrible idea, Doug. You can't. I mean, you're gonna end up in the hospital. You're gonna maybe worse.
Well, I wasn't about to end up at the hospital, but a car almost did. A car went around me
Yeah.
and like did not have nearly enough room for the oncoming traffic, and almost caused a really major accident.
Yeah, and they could have swerved back to avoid that and hit you.
Hmm. Well, as soon as because I saw the other car, so as soon as they started going around me, I just slammed on my brakes, and so they were far enough ahead of me. But still, I mean, it could. I mean, I guess it could have been bad for me, right? I mean, if the cars went spinning and everything like that, that would have
Or
been.
even not you, right? Like if a if a cyclist just doing what you're supposed to do caused that problem, to me that's I mean, and that actually was an accident. I would say like, okay, people don't do a good job of driving around cyclists, but it's still the fact that it's causing accidents.
So the cyclists get punched and get outlawed instead of the drivers needing to. No,
Yeah,
that
I
doesn't
mean,
make
we
sense.
can't go back. Can't put the
No.
toothpaste
I
back in
mean,
the tube and say no more driving. we're past cycling. Those days are over. This is not the
No,
1890s anymore,
Come
Doug.
on.
We've roads there for cars. I appreciate that people want to do fitness things. There needs to be dedicated areas where like you can't have cars or something if you want to be riding a bike around. It's a terrible thing. I don't understand how it's still out. I really don't.
That's crazy, Matt. That's crazy. That's crazy.
All right. I hope you don't. I really hope you don't have a terrible accident.
Me too. Me too. I really do. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually, I thought about you because you said something. I mean, you said that like if everybody we know who rides their bike frequently has gotten into a bad accident.
It appears inevitable.
Everybody on their team except for me. That's happened to. Like we've had multiple people hospitalized. We're a small team of 12. And
you think we won't happen to do, or you're just say I'm okay with that. I'm just going to enjoy the time I get until then.
I know. I mean, I'm still writing. I still
right.
write.
But I'm in New York. Are you saying I understand I'm eventually going to end up in the hospital from this?
No, but that replays in my head all the time.
Or do you think you're different from them, and you're going to be more skillful and just get out of the way better than all of those people?
No. Because it's luck. I mean,
it's luck, but exactly, it's luck. But eventually, you ride enough long enough, it happens.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, people ride bikes their entire lives and never
and they all go to the hospital. Everyone I know who rides those things goes in the hospital eventually for it. I'm saying you shouldn't do it. I know, Doug, you think people should. The British has my point. The United States sucks for cycling because drivers are never aware of anything. Mm-hmm. That's why I ride gravel and trails. And that's true. They're not aware of anything. I'm not saying it's the cyclist's fault for being bad drivers. They're probably doing exactly what they should do. Mm-hmm. But people don't respond in a good way. I mean, I don't know how I'm supposed to drive around on cyclists. I mean, I know to be careful, but it's hard to judge when you can pass and when you can't and all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway,
lots of comments here. So, Britters, I work in healthcare, and I see way too many bicycle accidents with people who don't wear helmets. I always wear my helmet.
Well, that's good. You should do that.
And then my husband hates bicycle riders, but only because they ride on the road in the worst places. Don't use bike paths, sidewalks, etc. I mean, okay, I'm going to defend some bicyclists here. There are roads that I will not ride my bike on, for sure.
Okay.
Because the traffic's too, the speed limit's too high. Like traffic's just moving too quickly. Mm-hmm. But sidewalks are not always the solution because sidewalks are they're not designed for bicycles, right? So if you're going at a decent speed, like it's probably more dangerous you're more likely to get into a wreck caused by yourself on a sidewalk than you would on the road, right?
Yeah. I believe that. Sidewalks aren't the place for bicycles, I don't think. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, we can move on.
Anyway, we'll have to agree to disagree on that.
Here we go. One more. Last night, this is back to Gordon Ramsay. Last night on MasterChef, as from Anne Marie, last night on MasterChef, Gordon applauded a woman who made a veggie meal to qualify for the season. There you go.
Wow. Way to go. Way to go, Gordon. All right. Moving on. Tech startup Tender. They're 4 years old. Not Tinder, but Tender. It's a plant-based meat company. I've never heard of them, I don't think. But they've secured a deal with they are from Somerville, Massachusetts. They've secured a deal with Boston food chain Clover Food Labs, which is a fast food restaurant. Not as popular as Boston Market, that's for sure. I don't think I've ever heard of Clover Food Labs. Have you, Doug?
No.
And not Dunkin' Donuts either. Not Dunkin'. Those would be more exciting partnerships. But Tender has an interesting way of making plant-based protein. They make short rib, pulled pork, chicken breast, and crab versions of plant-based products, of course. And they do it in a process that is similar to the creation of cotton candy, where the fibers are spun to create structured cuts of meat. So you can imagine how that would kind of result in a meat that is has textures that seems more correct, I would think, with like threads or strands or whatever. So I don't know. I'd be curious to try that.
Yeah.
As we say, we're sick of these fake meats, but it seems we're only sick of the same old fake meats. If they put out new interesting things, I'd be curious to try it.
Uh-huh.
All right, Miyoko's has announced Miyoko's Creamery, the official name of the brand. I guess she's no longer part of it. Is that right? They have 2 new flavors of their oat milk butter, garlic parm and cinnamon brown sugar. They're for both dairy and non-dairy customers. Is meant to appeal to them anyway. I didn't know they even made oat milk butter. Did you? Maybe that is that one.
Is that different than their main butter?
No, the main one is, I think, cashew nuts is the main thing.
So this is a new thing.
Well, it says, no, I think oat milk butter's been around because it says announced 2 new flavors of its oat milk butter. I think oat milk butter might be their spreadable one, or the one was like in the tub, like country crock style.
Yeah,
or maybe they're whipped butter. I don't know. But anyway, they've got these flavor ones now. I mean, I don't know who would want these, honestly. Like, I guess if you were like going to put it on a bagel or something, you might be nice to have those things already in there. But I mean, I would just sprinkle some cinnamon and brown sugar on there if I wanted it. Or like, we put garlic in the food that you're cooking in the butter. So it just seems a little strange. Parm, I guess, is interesting because Parm's not vegan, so you get a new flavor there somehow. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think
I'm with you on this. Like, I just make your own, I guess.
Yeah.
I can see if you were if you were going to a party and you needed a dip or something like that, that would make sense for this. Like that's the only time I'd use it. I can't imagine buying it though. And this is the problem with this is like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not a problem because there's dairy versions of the same thing. But once you start having all these SKUs, I think that's where companies get in trouble.
Yeah, right. We know that is a problem. Line extension, not always good for branding. Doug, you, as much as you like all different flavors of foods and combining crazy combinations, pretzels and watermelon, pizza with any topping you want.
Have you tried that yet?
No, no. Maybe I will. I don't even know if I'm.
Food of the summer. I'm telling you.
I know. So anyway, my point is, you love all those things, but you do not like. You like to make those mixes yourself. You do not want to buy a Dorito that is a corn chip that already has stuff in it or mixed in. You don't want butter that has flavors already on it. You like to buy the pure ingredients, which I then like to eat in that pure form. You mix those pure ingredients, but you don't like to buy pre-mixed things.
That's right. You're right about that.
Yeah, I appreciate that about you. All right. Garuda says all this fake dairy is unhealthy. People never learn. I don't know if I agree with that one. I agree with some of Garuda's takes. At least I think they're interesting takes and often fair points. This one, I don't. I just don't think something like Miyoko's butter is really very unhealthy at all compared to regular butter. But that's my point of view. I admit I might have a little bias in there. All right, moving on. There's a new avocado and mango shortage. They're being held on the way here from Mexico. There was an incident, this is according to Morning Brew, that threatened the safety of U.S. health inspectors in Mexico. So everything's on hold for now. The inspections are on hold while they deal with the situation. A labor protest, good old protesting, always causes good things. In this case, in Michoacan, somehow U.S. agents were harmed during this. And as a result, no clearing any more Michoacan avocados or mangoes for U.S. export. That's 3/4 of Mexico's avocados on hold for now. So not great. Could see a little price bump in your guacamole, Doug. Hope you're not bringing guacamole on your trip.
I'm not. But that's like pre-made guac, not, or is that avocado?
No, avocado. It's plain old avocados.
Oh, okay, all right. Man, avocados are expensive.
Yeah, they are expensive. Hard to justify that cost to me.
And I've been eating a lot of them lately.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you like avocados for breakfast a lot.
Yeah, it's been my go-to for a little while now.
Plus the waste. Like if you lose 1 out of 4 avocados,
right,
from bad timing, that price skyrockets.
Yep.
All right, there you go. There's your weather report. My dogs are barking to get in. I put them out and I forgot to bring them in before we started. But anyway, we'll continue the show. We'll finish it. All right. So you said
now 2.
I have the one foster dog still who unadoptable, apparently unlovable and unadoptable dog who we have for almost a year now. Year now.
So you haven't adopted that. That's still the dog that you're fostering.
We haven't adopted her yet. Yeah, so she's one of them. And then we got a puppy shortly after we had her because we thought we're going to want to have our own dog. It'd be nice. But turns out we didn't need to get that puppy because we didn't know we would have her for a whole year. So now we have 2 dogs for almost a year. Is
your foster dog, I mean, is it a good dog to have? I mean, have y'all?
No, I mean, she's okay. The others are okay with her. She's very high maintenance. She's a hunting dog. She's a red tick coonhound. And apparently like people in the United States still use them to go out and hunt. I think hunt raccoons or something. But they're just not meant to be indoor dogs. She's very, very energetic and I don't know, high strung, anxious all the time. She needs to be on a farm where she can just run around.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it's hard to get people to adopt her. Anyway, but if you're interested in adopting a dog, or you know anyone who is in the Charlotte area, please reach out, because she's a nice dog, just not fit for domestication.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to our main story of the day. It's from this nurse's health study. You sent it to me. Where'd you find it, Doug? Your mom sent it to you from NPR?
No, I found it doing my own research. I was working on an email that's going out later this weekend.
Okay. So that makes me think it's possible we've covered it before.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I searched in our old document for this. We've definitely done things from this nurse's health study before, including a hip fracture, study about plant-based diets. But this one appears to be new. It's from, or appears not to have been done by us. It's from February. But we even talked about this conclusion at some point, and I think in different context. But anyway, so we may have talked about this before, but not really in any detail. Here's the synopsis. They looked at 50,000 or so nurses' health study participants who filled out surveys of what they ate in 1984 and 1986. So I guess that's when the plant protein numbers are from, which is interesting because that means there was no Beyond Meat, in those numbers. There was probably some tofu and tempeh, but even that, much more likely plant protein equaled good old beans back then. Nuts and seeds, maybe grains, but they were calculating grams and things like that. So it's not like they're just saying, eat grains and that counts as protein. But it is interesting context that they're not talking about processed fake meats, I don't think. But what they did, they found that about 10% of those people, 7%, 3,700, met their healthy aging definition. They defined what healthy aging meant: free from 11 major chronic diseases, good mental health, not having impairments in either cognitive or physical function. So that's what healthy aging meant, and not dying, by the way. And then they did this, and those people were all less than 60 when they did the surveys. 30 years later, 2014, they looked at follow-up data on them. And then they did statistics and found that your odds of healthy aging, for every 3% increase in protein that you took in, your odds were 5% higher for total protein. So your 1.05 was your odds ratio for total protein consumption, 1.07 for animal protein consumption, and 1.14 for dairy protein, which was not counted as animal, and then 1.38 for plant protein. So over a 1/3 increase in your odds of healthy aging for every 3% increase in plant protein that you took in. But it should be pointed out, you also got good results from things like dairy protein. You got a 14% increase. I don't understand why. How could total protein go up smaller than all of these constituents parts do?
Good question.
Doug?
I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't either. And this was kind of something we talked about before. One of these issues came up in a protein thing, and we ended up saying, I think it wasn't that. It was the conclusion was that protein was pretty good no matter what at this stage of life. And by this way, this is fairly early. This is less than 60 years old. So they're calling this midlife protein intake. It's kind of accepted now that later, over 60, more protein is needed for optimal health. But now this is saying when you're a little bit younger than that, more protein equals good. Not exactly the message that the plant-based community has been shouting from the rooftops for the past 20 years. It's kind of been protein equals bad until you're older. So this is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
No explanation then for that protein thing. Why is total protein only a 5% increase in all that's possible other ways of getting protein are higher than that? But
yeah, and another thing that stood out, and I think I'm understanding this correctly. I'm not the best at understanding these things, but I don't know if you have the study open. There's like chart. Let's see, under what analysis table 3. There's a chart below that. I don't know how to tell you to get there. There's no pages.
Google table 3. Yeah, okay, I found it. I found a chart. Table 2. Yep, got it.
So if you're looking at, so this is like, I think what's happening here is we're looking at replacing all these things with different types of protein. So A is total protein, B animal protein, C dairy protein, and D plant protein.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can pull this up on the screen. That's what I should probably do. But you can see that there's some benefit to replacing like total carbs with animal protein, fat, but when you like refined carbs, you see a great increase. Animal protein, you see a great increase. A little bit less with dairy protein. But I don't know. I mean, like it just, I guess what I'm pointing at is that replacing animal protein and replacing dairy protein with plant protein has benefits.
Yeah. Right. Well, that makes sense. And that makes sense from the broader conclusion, right? If it is more beneficial than those other things, then choosing it directly instead of those,
right,
would make sense. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I guess I don't think that's the main story here. Like that's not in the headline, right? The headline is dietary protein intake in midlife in relation to healthy aging. So I think the thing is protein in midlife turns out to be beneficial. But very interesting subtext that the plant-based is more than twice as beneficial as the best of the animal proteins, the dairy protein. That actually is very interesting. But it does mean you can't not get enough protein, right? If you're going to be a vegan or plant-based and you're not going to get enough protein, you might be worse off than having animal protein, right? It's showing that all protein intake a good thing. So you do, I guess the message here is be plant-based, be vegan with your protein choices, but actually make an effort to get them. And we don't know how much of this was protein powders. I'm sure there was some soy protein powders, rice protein and things back then on the market. But again, I think probably most of this is whole foods.
I mean, I think I agree with you that I think that, the protein, I mean, that is the story, I guess. Protein is good. But if you look at this chart though, I mean, you can see that the plant protein is so much better.
Yeah, right.
Like than the animal protein or the dairy protein.
You're right.
So I would say, like, I'm not saying that this says you have to go vegan, but I would say, the real story is eat more plant protein.
Yeah.
Which is what? Beans, nuts, seeds, legumes, things like that. Like not just protein from broccoli or whatever.
Right.
But
you need to actually get a lot of protein. Yeah, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or get a significant amount.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, the media didn't in February go crazy over this result and put this in all the headlines that plant-based protein more than twice as good for healthy aging as animal protein. They seemed not to get excited about that as they did over the idea that 0.2% of your diet from plant meats in all the healthy unprocessed foods in that result that showed these plant-based processed foods were bad. Somehow the plant-based meat gets called out as the problem. So anyway, it's hopefully we all know look past the media headlines. By now. All right. Well, there you go. There's your story. Eat your protein. Buy your complement protein. That's the real reason we included this, so that people would go buy complement protein. Although,
if you're curious about how much protein you need, could I make a little plug for our new tool?
This was not planned, by the way, unless that's why you sent me the protein article. Oh, it probably is because that's where you were. That's where.
Well, it wasn't planned that's why we should talk about it. But that is why I found the article.
So we dug up this article from 4 months ago.
Well, I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want to.
No, people like the tool. We have a protein calculator tool now, right?
We have a brand new protein calculator tool that was designed by a registered dietitian, not by us. I mean, we built it, but the registered dietitian made all the recommendations. Go to veganproteincalculator.com. I think that's right. And it'll tell you how much protein you need based on the latest research.
And guaranteed no sales pitch to follow, right?
No.
That guarantee.
But there are a lot of free resources that come along with it. A lot of free recipes, high protein recipes, the protein cheat sheet, a meal plan. So there's lots of free stuff that comes along with it, and maybe a little pitch to get protein.
Fine, that's fine. That's the cost of, and that's the stuff isn't actually free, but that's how you pay for it. Attention to an offer. But honestly, though, a calculator, like we just said, is a good thing. And this used to be thought that it wasn't, right? It was like we get enough protein. We're plant-based protein. You get all you need from the food you eat. Don't worry about protein. This study is showing that it's important to get enough protein, right? The protein beneficial. We know in old age. Now we know in middle age or midlife, whatever they call this. And like I said, don't just go plant-based or vegan and say, well, now I'm good since the plant-based protein score is so high. Like you have to actually get enough. And so the calculator can help you figure out what that enough is.
That's the exact pitch I'm making in my email on
Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
Good. All right. Well, we both arrived there independently.
There you go.
Good. Okay. All right. We're a little bit early, but I should get down to the dogs. Let's see.
Down to the dogs.
Brandon Turner says his neighbors fostered a dog, took it back to get adopted, and then went back to get her. So I guess, and that would be what foster fail. That's what that a foster fail is. But I don't know about the taking it back to get adopted. Maybe did they already have an adopter and then they backed out and said you can't anymore. I don't know. It's tricky. Yeah, and then Kate says it's hard to foster. You end up adopting them all. Yeah, it is sad. I don't have a problem getting rid of them, but definitely the kids more do. All right, Garuda says they will still be missing important nutrients as a vegan, no matter how much plant protein they eat, only found in meat. That is the drawback to veganism and longevity. Yeah, that's true if you are unwilling to supplement, and that's why we started a supplement company to hopefully get the best of all worlds. And I know you could argue, well, it's not natural to take supplements, but if the data would show that you live longer that way and healthier aging that way, then I'm on board. But that's just my take. I do appreciate you, Garuda, and I understand the comment. By the way, those people were that was plant protein. I don't think there was nothing about those people being vegans, right? It was just that they consumed a lot of that plant protein. They may have also been consuming animal products. We don't know that level of detail, but yeah, being vegan is different from taking in a lot of plant protein. So good point, Garuda.
One more housekeeping note. The podcast feed is going to start having a couple interviews that we are previously recorded with Matt Tolman as host. Probably starting next week would be my guess. I don't know if I'll have time to get it out before we leave town tomorrow. But there's some good interviews coming up.
On Fridays, typically, is that the plan?
Fridays, yep.
On Fridays, okay. Good. All right, good. Well, there you go. There's our show. That's our week of shows. Partial week, 2/3 of a week. We'll be back Monday, so you don't have to wait till Tuesday. You can come on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, normal show time, but Monday. Then we'll skip Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday. And Wednesday, Robert Cheek will be with us, so it should be fun. That's it. Anything else, Doug?
Not for me.
Okay, I'm gonna make a face this time about.
Oh yeah.
It's not gonna be the normal surprised open mouth face. I'm gonna do something different.
Oh, can't wait.
I'm gonna do like a skeptical. Okay. All right, ready? Here we go. We're off. Signing off. Goodbye, everybody.